Hi everybody, my name is Jenny. Welcome to The Edge Confidential. I'm here with Maegan Lott today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming today. So you're in recovery?
I am.
All right, how long do you have sober?
I just took 4 years in February.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So take us back. When you first got sober, what did that look like to you? Like I know people call it a rock bottom. Did you have a rock bottom? What got you into recovery?
So this isn't my first time getting sober. I've been trying to get sober since 2014, but actually trying to get sober since 2016.
Okay.
And so I got 9 months, and then I got a year, and then I relapsed. And so this time was the only time that I wasn't really planning on sticking around. All the other times I felt like I had really hit a rock bottom, and I really didn't want to keep getting loaded. And this is the first time where I was presented with an ultimatum. I had acquired things from being sober before. So I had an apartment and a car and things that I had to pay for. And my boss at the time I worked in the vape industry, and he was familiar with sobriety. And he presented me with an ultimatum where he was like, you can either get sober or you can get out of my office kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go to rehab again. And I was it's funny because I was kind of trying to get him off my back, my parents off my back. And then I was going to go back to doing what I was doing. And I truly believe that God did for me what I couldn't do for myself. Because the whole reason I got sober was for that job. And after I got out of detox, my boss was like, I'm selling the company.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what?
But I did this for you.
I was like, you don't even know what I've done for you, you know? And and then I was in a outpatient program that offered me solutions to my problem. And so I was able to find another job and get a new apartment, and because it felt like the first year of my sobriety this time, it felt like my life was falling apart, and I really, really, really had to work for it, and I truly believe that if I didn't have to work hard for it, I probably would have just given it away. And now because I had to work so hard for the first year of my sobriety, I won't give it up for anything.
I think that's such a good thing to say, because it's so true. It's when we start having things that we're proud of, and we start building this life for ourselves, it's so much to lose. When I was in my addiction for so long, I wasn't working, and it was whatever, it's what difference does it make kind of thing. But yeah, when we start to put the pieces together and have a life, it's wow, we want to hold on to that, we don't want to lose that. It's so valuable to us. So how did you build a foundation for yourself in recovery? Do you work a program?
I'm super passionate about AA. Okay. I just I don't know. It's the only thing that's worked for me. And so I'm super I feel like I'm the captain AA, the little cheerleader.
Hey, that's a good title to have. Seriously. Okay, so for people out there that don't know what AA is, what these support groups are, what does AA stand for?
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Okay. So what is a sponsor in Alcoholics Anonymous?
A sponsor is basically somebody that takes you through the 12 steps. I mean, a lot of people, I use my sponsor for everything in my life, but that's not really their job, I just like to utilize my sponsor because a lot of the times, my ideas I think are good or my intentions I think are good. And I like to bounce things off of somebody that can kind of see my delusions, but really what a sponsor is they take you through the 12 steps.
What is your favorite quote in Alcoholics Anonymous?
There is no middle of the road solution.
There is no middle of the road solution. And explain what that means to you.
Well, the way that it was explained to me by my sponsor was that basically if you're literally looking at a road, right? If you're standing in the middle of the street, you're going to get hit by a car. So it's you either need to be all the way on the sidewalk on one side or the other. And on like one side of the sidewalk, it's like addiction. And on the other side of the sidewalk is recovery. But you can't do halfway because you'll get hit by a car. And so it's like I would get sober and I'd be like, okay, like I'll get a sponsor. I'll maybe go to a couple meetings, but like I'm not going to do the God thing. And then I get hit. I get loaded every time. And so like this was like the first time that I really hopped in and like did everything. Like I was like, I call it like the AA buffet. I don't know if it's the salad or the spaghetti or the bread. Like I don't know what part of the buffet keeps me sober. So I do all of it because I'm terrified that I'm going to get loaded again.
It's so true. Just do it all, and it works if you work it in that way. Absolutely. I love that. You got to do the whole buffet, you guys, not just one thing here or there. Don't just have the side fries. Which one of the steps was the most impactful for you?
The most impactful step was probably step 1, because when I first got sober, it was like basically the key, like you hit your bottom, you wave your white flag, and it's like the key to getting sober. It gets you here, right? Like it was really easy for me to look at my life when I was loaded and see that I'm powerless over alcohol and that my life was unmanageable. I was going to the ER every weekend. I was getting arrested a lot. So it was like very clear that my life was unmanageable and that I'm powerless over drugs and alcohol. But like now what that step means to me is like, it's even more true now. Like even like in sobriety, I have to admit that I'm powerless over my life and that my life is always unmanageable because like when I try and like take control of things, like it always ends up crazy.
Okay, so for somebody watching out there that doesn't know how to even start working an AA program, how can somebody find a local meeting?
I'm pretty sure they have apps now. I think one of them's called Meeting Guide. I'm pretty sure you can just Google like whatever area you're in and put AA meetings, NA meetings, whatever like your little niche is.
Yeah.
But you can find meetings just online anywhere. And then once you get there, you can ask people like, oh, do you have a favorite meeting? Like, are there better ones? Or, like tell them what kind of meeting you're trying to find. Young people, old people, whatever meeting you want.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's switch it up a bit here. So for you look, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 27.
Okay. You literally look like you're 20. Gorgeous. Like you're very young. I'm sure people tell you that all the time. Okay. So, being young in sobriety, I know a lot of people struggle, and I'm always like super proud of these people that get sober really young, because it's got to be a hard thought in your early 20s thinking, okay, I'm just never going to drink socially again. Like, what does that look like to me? And there comes in that one day at a time. So sober fun. So you love going to festivals. You love music. That's a big part of your recovery. What does that look like for you? And what would you say to people out there that are struggling to find sober fun and fun activities in recovery?
In early sobriety, there is like so many like there's like young people conventions, like they have like dances, they have powwow, they have so many different things like when you're early in sobriety that they literally hand you to do, and I know that when I first got sober, I was really nervous that like I wouldn't be able to go to concerts or festivals because like I thought that everybody drinks, everybody smokes weed, and that was not the case. Like I found somebody in AA that also wanted to go to like a concert with me, and then I had like an accountability partner that was with me so that I didn't want to get loaded because they're not getting loaded, and it's become like one of like my biggest enjoyments in sobriety. And I know that like early on, I don't think I knew that I was doing this, but like I would buy a concert ticket and it'd be like 6 months away. And like I would be like, well, I can't get high because like I'm going to that concert with Taylor and he's sober.
That's
so like
really cool. Yeah.
It kind of kept me sober.
Yeah. And I think that's great for people to hear. That's a coping skill, being able to, okay, you know what, I'm going to bring somebody or go with somebody that's sober, because that was hard for me when I first got sober. I had to essentially walk away from everybody I knew in the past. Not that they were bad people, but they drank and and unfortunately that's society. It's like people go out, even just to a restaurant, they're like having drinks. And so, yeah, finding your tribe, finding your people that you can go and do these things with that are sober, that can hold you accountable. I think that's really valuable for people to hear. So get out to those meetings, find your people, find people that like to do what you like to do, and just go explore, right?
Yeah.
Like explore what it looks like to you, figure that out. If you could just describe recovery to somebody that doesn't know what it is, how would you describe recovery?
I don't know. That's kind of tough because it's like, like they say that one of the most common things that people say is like, oh, if I could give somebody my recovery, I wouldn't, because I don't want to rob you of the experience, And so it's like, but if somebody was like just asking me like what I've gained from recovery, I would just say like everything, like I have like friends, the 12 steps is literally a design for living. And like, I remember when I first got sober, my sponsor would always be like, I'd have all these problems, right, that I haven't been dealing with for 10 years. And I would come and I'd be like, I really need to get, my warrants taken care of. I got a doctor's appointment. I need a dentist appointment. I have cavities, like all of these things I didn't care about for years. Right. And I want to fix them all in like 2 weeks sober. And she would say, go to a meeting and share about it. And I was like, these are like real life problems. Like I need to fix right now. And she would just be like, go to a meeting and share about it. And I kid you not, I took all of the suggestions that they told me in AA and recovery, and it fixed everything in my life. And I just don't know how to like explain that to somebody, but like I said, a short answer would just be, I have friends now, like people that actually care about me. My family's back in my life. I have a job that I like show up to on time.
On
like
time.
What? But yeah, it gave me everything.
I think that's perfectly said. Recovery gave you everything. Thank you so much for being here. You're really inspiring and you're fun and you're great. So thank you for being you.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. We will see you next time. Bye.